call into order. Call into order our Wexaukee Amateur Radio Club August meeting, and we will begin reading of the minutes from Brandy.
Meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. We did intros, the minutes were read and approved, the financials were read and approved. We had a discussion of the directors, and Jeff, Gordy, and Ken were voluntold/appointed. We went over the insurance for the repeater equipment and the possibility of a change in liability for events and how that will affect the swap and such in the future. Field day went very well. There was a good time, lots of food, and lots of CW. Wings and Wheels, there'll be a presentation tonight, so we'll get some more information on that. And we talked about cleaning out the storage unit and whether or not we needed some equipment. We did motion to donate the PA system to another group, and that passed. We talked about the Festival of Races and the sign-up sheet, did net controls. Gordy had not finished voice, but would do so later, or if somebody else wanted to take a look. And we had a presentation on crossband repeating. Suggestions, corrections?
Any corrections that you notice?
No, sir.
Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, Jim, second.
Second.
That's from Jeff. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, it's approved. Thank you, Brandy. What?
We got a new VP.
Yes, we do. There he is.
He's a stand-in.
Okay, let's go to
Sitting there.
our financial report. So I'll ask Lee to come up here, and we will get this straightened around so we can all see it.
There it is, right there.
Okay, if you'd all lay on your left side. Okay, there's your,
Can we move it? Well, maybe.
want it bigger?
Well, no.
What do you want?
See, it cuts on the bottom.
Oh, we'll just move it down. You can do that too. Just,
Yeah.
how's that?
Perfect.
All right.
That's why you're the president. Okay.
All right, listen up, guys.
Here's the financials. So, get my mouse working here. Okay, so on the report, this side of the report, from here to here is income. And from here to here is expense. And then, okay, so you got a starting balance up here, $4,594.25. And let's see, we didn't have a lot of income. We had $25 for, let's see, coax, there was $25 we sold, drawing was $28, and we sold a generator. Expenses, rent, $176. That was for our post office box. Let's see, we had, what else do we have? Oh, utilities, $22.30, that's pretty standard. And then we had $20 that went to the state of Michigan for our nonprofit application. Now, this, I didn't set up this spreadsheet, but whoever set it up, I'm grateful. And you could, you could have some added things in there like total income and total expense, which it doesn't have, but then the, it would be wider. So we're missing one column as it is. We got the income column, but we do not have an expense column. Well, we do, but it doesn't copy. It comes up on a separate sheet. So anyway, so what we got here is, let's see, let's go up here to the top, $4,594.25. And if you go down here to the bottom, so you can see my writing and the $4,594.25, and then add in the income of $93, subtract out the expense of $218.30, gives that the ending balance of $4,468.95. So That's dandy. yeah. Any questions?
No, sir.
All righty.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Right here, Dave.
Thank you.
Second.
Gordon. So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Don't you dare oppose. All opposed, say same sign. It passed. Thank you, Lee, for your good work. All right. got next? Let's do the president's report and open mic. All right, some of this you already know about. I'm still working on making our meetings available via YouTube and eventually maybe live. Last month's attempt was plagued with technical difficulties, which was me. And but we're going to keep trying. Brandy has got hers. I've got my phone doing it. We really like it. We've got about 20 people that show up regularly, and that leaves about 50 that don't ever get to come to meetings. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it. I would love to have somebody who's tech savvy and video savvy to just volunteer to do it every meeting. See me. The WARC, our website's been updated. It's been really difficult getting it updated. I'm going to meet with Amber to explore ways to have it updated at least monthly, but check it out. If you have any suggestions on how to improve our website, please let me know. I think we can do a lot better job. I need a volunteer grillmeister for our club picnic, August 20th at the Marion Fairgrounds. You basically purchase the meat and the buns, you'll get reimbursed, and show up by 1 to get the meat started. So if you would want to volunteer, see me. And let's see, just a reminder, that is the 20th, and it starts, the meat goes on the grill at 1. So, you're going to hear a lot more about wings and wheels tonight, but for now, let's see here. We have at least 3, and well, I found out tonight, we have maybe 5 antennas. We could use a tripod and a J-pole for 2 meters, if anybody wants to volunteer for that. I'd like to have 3 to 4 volunteers, well, at least 2 volunteers sign up per 2-hour period. I'm going to send this around, and if you can sign up, what I basically would like to have at each operating station is somebody to operate and an explainer. So
I'm at a meeting, I'll call you when I get out of this.
kids come up, they can see somebody operating. If they want to operate, we give them the microphone. Somebody else is here explaining, and we have these. I'm going to send this around. These flyers will be given away. We also need volunteers. We also need volunteers the night before, the day before. We get everything set up, then they can close the big doors to the hangar. It'll all be safe, and then show up the next morning. It really starts at 8 with a fly-in. The posters will say it starts at 10, but it starts at 8. What else? Rich, can you give us an update on lift rental? You sent something
Oh,
around?
yeah, well, I got a hold of the, out there on Boone Road, for a scissor lift, they said for 1 day it was $200.
Oh, I thought it was higher. That's pretty good.
$200.
Pick up,
Huh?
that you have to pick it
You
up.
pick it up, it's on a trailer, you take it out to your place, use it, get it.
And what
back.
about Jamie?
Jamie was $200 to $300, and that's a 65-foot lift. The scissor lift was 20 foot.
Okay,
And of course, it's not gonna boom out or anything like the other.
right. All right. Just for your information, tonight the Big Rapids Club is celebrating their 50th anniversary as a club, and it got me thinking, how long has this club been?
Well, Jack Brower would be the one to tell you that.
All right.
We've had a swap for 50-some years.
Yeah, the swap I think was 57.
57. The club's been in essentially 60 years.
Okay.
We'll just round it off and say that, okay?
And listen up on this one. I don't know who makes these decisions, but I'm suggesting that our fall dinner occurs on Tuesday, October 10. It's roughly the same time it was last year. It's at Berkey's, 5:30. What do you think? Should I go ahead and reserve it? Anybody think of any conflicts?
I'll be late.
What time would work best for you?
6 would be better. My store closes at 5:30. It's okay if I might.
No, we like having you, you were there at our spring fling, it was, you know, I hate to make
I'm sure my
it,
wife would attend as well.
okay. Let's say 6.
Sounds good.
Let's say 6.
Is that okay? Sorry.
No, no, want everybody to participate. Okay, that's that.
It's late.
We'll go back to the agenda. We don't need to go through those activities unless anybody has any update about these nets. Any changes in the nets? We're gonna hear more about wings and wheels. Tom, do you want to say anything about festival races? Do you need more volunteers?
Yes, I do need a couple more volunteers, a couple of people I don't think are gonna be able to make, especially Tom Adams this year that has helped us in the past. I do need a couple more people. If anybody's interested, let me know. I've got a couple of spots that I really need filled.
Explain a little bit to those that have never done it, what you actually do if you volunteer.
You're just there, you spot, it's good, you watch the runners, it's supposed to be better this year. In years past, problem was with numbers, they had armbands and all kinds of nonsense, and nobody could read the numbers. I talked to Mike about this. Excuse me, not Mike, but Bob Reddick, and evidently they're gonna have bibs with big numbers on them, they're gonna be colored. So there'll be one color for 5K race, one color for 10K race, and they'll be easier to spot, a lot better. It basically is you pick up the first couple of guys that come through with the numbers, radio it back to me, I tell them what's going on. When the last guy goes past your post, you let me know, and I let them know at the central, at the race central there, so they can keep an eye on what's going on. Also, Mark Schmidt's going to be our sweeper this year, so he's the guy, the last man, he comes in, then we know the whole thing is done.
He does that on his bike, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's on a
Bicycle mobile.
bicycle mobile. So I could use 2 more people. I've got a couple of spots that are, I would say, that are critical, basically. Anybody interested in that?
What day is it now?
It's Saturday, the 2nd.
September 2, September 2, Saturday.
Number 2? All right.
The race starts at 9, I think what time do you?
Where's it at?
That's
Well, just give me details later.
Okay, the race starts at 9, all the races start 9:15. They're gonna have a swimming Olympiad thing going too, but we're not gonna be involved in that. I wanna meet about 8:15 at the tennis courts there on Haynes Street that are by the high school.
Right there next to the armory.
Yeah, I went out today and looked the situation over. They've got all kinds of construction and equipment and stuff going on in places that we've met before, so that's out. So, the tennis courts there on Haynes Street, it's right there at the high school, basically.
Okay.
That's where we would park, Tom?
Yes,
You
There
would
you
park
park.
there also?
yes, you can park there. Well, basically, you'll take your car out to the place where you're gonna be at.
Oh, okay.
It's a great way for our club to serve the community, and it helps them out a bit, and it doesn't take, you would be out of there by 10, right?
Yeah, it goes pretty quick.
So you got the whole rest of the day to play, so.
Yeah.
And this is the last meeting, we won't have another meeting before, right? Because the September
No, we
meeting
will
is.
not have another meeting.
So, please let him know if you're gonna help out so he can plan.
I can get you all the information. Yes,
These are all gonna be mobile areas.
mobile areas,
You
yes.
don't need an HD.
If you've got a mobile, you can operate it. If you don't, as long as you can hit the Cadillac repeater with an HD, you're golden.
I can hit the repeater with my radio on a box sitting on the front
You're
of
in.
my car.
That works.
For those that like Dave,
Put me down for one of your spots, mobile.
I'll do it the same as you did last year. The people that were here last year with me, it's exactly the same course. They have not changed it at all, so I'll put you right in the spot. Is that okay with you, Dave, or do you?
Not a problem, I wasn't here last year, so
I have you down there.
Sure,
Yeah.
I remember being,
Okay, well,
Yeah,
anyway.
part-timers. I remember
How
last
about Carl T. Johnson? Is that okay with you, or do you want something different?
It's a lot of shade.
I can go as far as you want me to go. too.
Okay, I'll put you down there.
Since
Dave. Thanks.
I'm assuming the course is similar to what it's been in many
That's a
years.
turnaround there, Carl.
They use the trail, go down past, they're on the other side of the lake. Last year, I took my HT down and walked across the road and stood next to the trail.
Okay.
For the people that are here tonight that say, yeah, I want to participate in this, I will get with you before the second. I've got maps and everything. You'll get a packet, and that will tell you exactly what you.
You'll also have vests to wear so that
Yes.
you can be identified and also,
Thanks. Appreciate that.
yeah.
Number 13.
All right, Tom, is that it?
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically, we're just spotting and telling you what numbers are on
yeah,
fire.
it's to keep track and
Just remember, I've done this with a number of other things, including the Free Press Marathon. You are not responsible if the runner goes down, but you are responsible to report the runners down.
Yeah.
right, right.
Don't
You know,
leave your radio to help,
No.
let somebody else.
You're
take
not
care
a
of it.
first aid person, you're also not traffic control, you
That's
don't direct
correct.
traffic, you are simply to do the job of reporting on when they go by.
Roger that.
And when the last one comes by, when Mark goes by, you're basically done,
That's
okay? All right,
Will there be any police presence in case we have to get, or do we have to wait for them to come through dispatch?
well, I don't know.
I think you get back to Tom as net
Get back if-
control,
if-
and they dispatch whoever.
If somebody
from
goes
the
down
race.
or you need police help, you get to Tom and they'll send it out. Open mic, any short comments or announcements by members that we need to know about?
WATD.
Yeah, Gordy.
The 440 machine's working fine. We may be moving that out of West Michigan Connect. We're looking at building another room that would be just the northwest quadrant from Cadillac, Niesick, Gaylord, up 75, Petoskey, just that northwest quadrant. It's not written in stone yet.
Okay.
Northern Michigan instead of all the
All
big
the way
traffic
south,
down.
just northwest Michigan, just like from 115 up.
That's cool.
Okay, so that's the plan. There's a lot of donated equipment by the guys that have West Michigan Connect, and we gotta find out where they stand on all this first.
Yeah.
Also, I got dinged for $600 to have the repeater up there. And that came out of pocket, of course, because it's my repeater. If anybody feels sorry for me,
Hey, I can make a donation.
I sold another repeater to pay that, so it's not like
Well.
I'm a lot of money out of pockets.
No, but you shouldn't have to,
Well, it's my repeater.
well, I
It's
know.
his
but-
repeater.
I know, but
It's your private repeater, isn't it?
Yes,
but we're a generous group.
well.
You are.
I-
I'm not.
I'm a
for
generous
him.
group, Bob is
Most
not.
particularly him.
Glenn's gonna find another book to write.
All right,
Can we make a donation to the club and the club reimburses him so we can get the tax deduction?
I don't think the club has it.
It's not profit.
It's not a
And it's
profit.
not necessary, it's money I have.
No,
at the
I
time,
hear you,
so it-
and-
I just want you to know it, you know, in the future, they're gonna wanna ding me for that.
Yeah, Bob said he's good for $100. Look at him, he's pulling his money out.
Look at that.
Good look at it, you're not gonna get it. I did give him $20.
Let's give him a hand. Let's step up.
Really step up, appreciate it.
You know, you shamed me into it.
I just gave him $20.
Oh, I got it.
I pulled 100 out just,
Hey, Lynn,
I thought that was pretty
Oh,
good,
that's-
wasn't it?
No, but
You sure?
give him my 50. I don't want to wander around.
You sure?
You gotta
Don't
hear
feel
what
bad,
it
take
says.
it, take it.
Hey, you got one for me coming too, but I don't have it on me.
this is from Dave. I told you, we got a generous club.
That's outstanding.
All right,
Now,
Oh, seriously.
I didn't do this, I
I
was
respect,
being facetious.
Look,
I
we use
expect
the machine.
respectful conduct from you on the internet.
Oh, I can't do that.
all right, let's go over net controls, and I want to thank the newbies. Jeff, you did it. Les did it. He wasn't that new. Ken, Thank you. So we don't need to add anybody. We're all set through September. But there you have them there. Make sure you put it on your calendar so you don't forget like I sometimes do. Any old business?
I've got a comment.
Yeah.
I assume other people besides me know, but I saw Fred from Manistee at work yesterday, and he said there's some changes coming to the repeaters over in that area. I don't have all the specifics, but just FYI, the numbers are changing.
What's changing?
Apparently, somebody's taking one repeater down, and they're working on getting a different machine up.
What's going down? 7, 8?
I think so. I wrote it down and forgot my paper. Apparently, there's some drama in the group over there
Oh,
at the
there's some
moment.
drama. Yeah, I think I know who the drama is
Okay.
too.
So, in any case, I honestly sort of thought somebody other than me may have heard about it before I got to this meeting, but I'll comment on it at least.
Tom?
Yeah, I got wind of, the Benzie group is taking their repeater down, the 04. It's both analog and C4 FM. They're moving it. I don't know where it's going. It's at Crystal Mountain, but I know that it's being moved. And I think it's off the air right now.
I can find out.
Pardon?
I can find out.
Find out,
Because I know
yeah.
again, it's moving.
Yeah, they've taken it down. And evidently they're gonna move it to a different location. They got into a feud with, I don't know if it was the government or something going on there.
We are also in the process of putting up a 2-meter machine on the highest point in Kilcastic County.
Well, that would be
soon.
good.
Cool.
The 2-meter C4 FM. And I think they'll probably run the AMS initially. So.
Good deal.
When I get my notes, I'll try to get the numbers that Fred gave me.
Any other old business? I have one item of new business. Bill W8FFG is offering a training course or training session on Yaesu System Fusion Digital Radio. It is too long for a program here. It's an hour plus. I'm assuming, well, I shouldn't assume. Would you want the program to be part of a club meeting? It would probably mean we'd go from 6:30 to 8.
We don't need Bill, we've got Tim.
Well, that was my second question. Is there an interest in having Bill? And I think he's got somebody else that's going to help him with it, but it's about an hour plus.
Uh-huh.
NHA&A Dave.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think so.
I think we got enough expertise here at the table if we want
Yeah,
to put something
exactly.
together, we can.
That man there has got it down. He knows it all.
I'm just, yeah.
And
Well,
I mean, seriously,
and I've set
he's
up-
helped every one of us that,
I've set
except
up
maybe for Gordy.
Node radios and one thing or
Yeah,
another.
that's
so
kind of where I am,
between
but
the two of us, we could.
that's kind of where I am, but I want to honor Bill's request to bring it before the group. I told him
that's
I'd bring
fine.
it before you, and I guess
Just
my
put 'em off
response
until
will,
after the first of the year, tell them the schedule's full.
What's that?
Just tell them the schedule's full till after the first.
well, it is full, but I think basically we don't have enough interest to sustain an hour
We don't
plus
really need
here.
it, I guess.
So, and he'll be fine with that.
You will.
Okay.
I told him to go.
We're going to take a break. Gordy is the one that's taking your tickets. There's coffee.
That noise Tom used to make.
So let's get back here at about 7 o'clock for our presentation.
All right, sounds good.
I'd like to draw your attention to this wonderful flyer up here. And you'll see
That's nice.
aircraft career information. And ham radio has a direct connection. We talked about that, and our guest here, Keith, will explain more about it. Because of this, my name got on his mailing list for the newsletter. And I look forward to that newsletter every month. It's really, really interesting. So, if you want it, it's free. Excuse me. Just put your name and your email address and you'll get it. It really is an interesting newsletter. So, but yeah, Keith is the manager of the Wexaukee County Airport. I've been learning a lot about the airport and how it's funded and all that. And he's the one is the brainchild for taking the wings and wheels and adding a STEM. Who can tell me what STEM stands for? Gordy.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Great.
says the teacher.
Says the electronics teacher.
And I am trying to get it changed to STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. But right now, it's just STEM. And his vision is to have young people learn more about careers in aviation. And there's a lot of them. So I'm going to turn it over to him once I figure out how to get out of this and go down here. Now, where is it now? Right, we already got it right here.
Should be just click on that.
Small search right.
Okay,
And
you can take it from there. Okay. Let's give him a big welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me take up some of your time this evening. I've only got about 55 charts to go through. We should be out of here by 9.
Great.
Let's give him a big hand. It's great to have him here.
No, I'll be quick, even though my wife keeps reminding me I have a major issue, and that's brevity. I don't have any, so, but I'll try to make this go as quickly as possible. I'm new to the Wexford County Airport. I'm the airport manager. I came on board in January and immediately learned about the event that they hold every year, the Wings and Wheels. And it basically is a pancake breakfast that EAA chapters do all across the country. They have what they call Dawn Patrol Pancake Breakfast. And then 2 years ago, they expanded it at Wexford County Airport to include classic cars. And the good thing is they get a lot of classic cars, about 100 is what I heard last year, and that draws in a lot more people. And so now you have a good event. It's got food and it's got a lot of people and something interesting, and I thought, well, classic cars are nice, but it's not really oriented to aviation and things like STEM that you were talking about. And you know, I don't know if you heard, but English is important, math is importanter. So it's important to get the kids in the community thinking about career options that are STEM related while they're young. There's a Civil Air Patrol group in Grayling, and its cadets are all in middle school. And the reason is they can't get the high school kids because they've lost them already. You have to get these kids earlier and earlier and grab their mindset so that they are aware and then build interest in whatever it is you're trying to do. So that's what I'm trying to do with the Wings and Wheels. Now, the mission, obviously the number one mission, it's the mission of the airport altogether, is the first thing is safety. We got to consider all aspects of safety around the airport, and so that's the number one thing we will be looking for during this event. But the real mission that I've got beyond that then is to raise the awareness level of youth so that they are aware of the different types of aviation. You know, there's most kids, if you ask what's an aviation career, it's an airline pilot. Well, there's airlines, there's business aviation, there's military, there's agriculture, there's logistics. There's a whole slew of different types of aviation. And then along with that, there's a whole slew of different types of jobs. There's the pilot, there's the ground crew, there's maintenance, there's air traffic controllers. And kids aren't aware of any of those things. And so what I'm trying to do with this event is to raise their awareness level of the different types of aviation and the different careers that are available in there, in the field of aviation. Secondly, I'm always trying to promote the value of the airport. We talked about the newsletter. I try to keep it simple. It will never go beyond one page. And I try to take the top 3 or 4 topics that I can find that show how the airport is delivering value back to the community. So I'll talk about if how if there wasn't the airport, Petco wouldn't have built that new store right where it is. They wanted to have accessibility to it, and they've flown in from San Diego to our airport so that they could get to that business. And there's other examples like that that show where we're bringing value to the community, not just allowing a bunch of people to go fly their little airplanes. So you say, well, why are we doing the career piece? I was working on some stuff down at Detroit City Airport and trying to get more youth involved with what's going on in aviation down there. And this is kind of a chart that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce put together about how do you get resources into industry when you need them. And this is the Talent Pipeline Management Initiative that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce put together. Basically, it says you start with career awareness, you get into exploration, so it's a more in-depth knowledge of what it is. You start getting prepared through education, you have pre-employment training, and then you get into the actual employment piece. And the key part of this are the top two triangles. It says that employers need to be involved day one in kindergarten, that the Deltas, all these different companies that are out there need to be putting some sort of resource into building the awareness. And over time, their involvement grows while the educators' involvement's declining. They're doing the initial part of education, but then it gets to a point where the employer's doing a lot of the education. So we're down here in the awareness piece, and so one of the things we're doing is there's Young Eagle flights. These are, it's a program put on by the EAA, and kids from 8 to 17 are eligible for a free flight on an airplane. So there'll be a number of airplanes at the event that will be taking kids up for probably a 15-20 minute flight so that they get to experience it. So the other thing is,
if we've got kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews, they might get a chance to go up.
yes, and it's all depends on the weather,
Sure.
how many planes we get. If they don't get them in for this round, there's multiple events throughout the warmer months, so that there's an opportunity at some other point to get these kids up in an airplane. But the intent will be to get as many kids as we can up in the air. Yeah.
So if we miss this event, it'll be in the newsletter, a future newsletter, or when the availability will be returning in?
Yeah, there's actually a website, it's called YE.org, I think it's Young Eagle's website. And you can go in there by state and by area, and it'll tell you where all the different Young Eagle events are taking place. They do them up in Traverse City, they do them at Ross Common, I think Houghton Lake Airport does some. They do them all over the place. So, yeah, we'll be able to get you the information on that. But that's kind of a key thing I'm hoping will attract a lot of kids to this event. We're not just going after the Wexford County, we're actually going and working with Jennifer Brown, who's the superintendent of schools. She's putting this out to 8 different ISDs. So we're trying to get kids from all northern Michigan school districts to try to come to this. Now, will we be successful? I don't know. It's the first year we've ever done this with the careers, so I don't know how many we'll get, but I'm hoping we'll get a fair number there.
That'd be cool.
So you get the free flights, and then our part is this annual career fair type of thing. And this is, I just found this is a perfect way to do the career fair without just having it be a career fair. There's nothing worse than a kid saying, okay, they're going to school and it's career day. So they got to listen to some kid's dad who's a fireman and whatever, and then a doctor, and you know, they don't really, they're not interested. But if you make it a fun event, and oh, by the way, you hear about the different options in careers, you kind of trick them into learning something and raising their awareness level. So that's what the intent is what we're doing. Now, this is to really raise awareness level of careers in aviation. And so I immediately put the Amateur Radio Club on the list. And you say, well, you know, it's not really aviation related, but it really is. I mean, you can take all the skills that any amateur radio operator has and translate it to a career in aviation. There's all sorts of avionics that are in airplanes. There's two-way radios. There's a thing called ADSB, which is through radio connection, telling where all the aircraft are in the sky, and you can pull it up on your, you know, go onto Flight Aware and see where all the airplanes are that are flying across Michigan. So there's a lot of skills that amateur radio people have that can be applied to avionics. So that's the challenge that this group really has, is you're going to be wanting to talk radio lingo, but how do you translate that to a kid that can be used for aviation? It shouldn't be too hard, but you just kind of want to be aware of that. So how do you do that? Well, you do demonstrate live communications through the local repeaters, long distance HF, demonstrate through digital communications, Echolink, FT8, CW. I understand you're planning on having CW?
We're gonna have a CW, a sideband. I just learned tonight, we're gonna have an FT8 station and a 2-meter repeater capability.
Okay.
So
That's great, because I think kids can relate to not everything is just voice talk, because you don't see kids talking on their phones. They never talk on their phones. They're doing this. They're communicating digitally. And then other ways you can try to demonstrate the applicability to aviation. So at some point I'd like to try to do is to set up a time where we can try to communicate with the International Space Station. Now, I know you can reserve those times. They don't have too many per year, and it's a whole process to get, but.
2 allotted Michigan over the next 4 years, and they're both signed up with.
Right, and so you can still try to communicate.
but you can still listen.
Yeah, you can still listen.
You know, Tim, you've heard him go over, and
You could still use the repeater on the shuttle, or on the space station, yeah.
yeah. No, that's another real cool way to get.
Yeah.
Didn't I just see something that was down?
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, yeah, I remember reading that, yes, you did. Yep.
They'll get it fixed. Another crew going.
Yeah.
Sure there was.
There's another thing that I participated in, especially with when I was doing CW as a novice, a station in New York City, down in the Bowery, where amateur radio manual was their English text for bilingual class. And they were out contacting anybody in terms of other schools, and they would get their donations in terms of equipment and the like. But then there are some groups where aviation, when I was down in New Mexico, when we had schools on the air or something like that, I talked to a lot of the technical universities that were on the air with HF up and down the Gulf Coast, and listening to some of their experiences and who they're contacting and how, and they had young kids with them in the booth. So.
Well, I think the plan is that if kids come up to the booth and want to communicate.
If they want to talk, if they want to, grab the mic or twist the dial or whatever, it's going to be hands-on. That's why we want one operator to kind of manage the rig and an explainer to answer questions. So.
And then there's also kids that are located like in Midland and other places, so that hopefully a kid can be talking to a kid.
Yeah, I contacted several nets and several clubs, and I've been putting together a frequency and band chart. So we're going to have people listening on various frequencies from other clubs and other nets. So there's a lot of excitement because a lot of retired hams are engineers, technicians, and they just think it's great to get kids involved. So go ahead, sorry.
That's good. No, I want them to understand what's already in place, because I'm not aware of all the plans that have been made already for the club. So this is an overall layout. Over in this area is the parking, so everyone will come in and park over here. We're gonna have shuttles, 6-seater golf carts that will take everybody over to the entrance. This is where the Young Eagles will be operating from. We're not gonna park any airplanes here. We might put, if there's any turboprops or jets, we'll park them over here, but all the transient planes that come in for the fly-in will be parked on the grass, so that the biggest objective of this whole plan is to keep everything separate, so that you don't ever see a path crossing. So the golf carts don't ever cross any paths, the Young Eagles don't cross paths, the transient airplanes don't cross. This is the classic car area up here. They come in, but they don't cross any other paths. And then that's the main area where the show will be taking place. So if we look at
don't trip over that, use this as a pointer.
So if we zooming in,
It's high tech.
this is where we're gonna have static aircraft. That means they're gonna get there before 8, and they're not gonna leave until after the show's over, because we don't want planes coming and going, crossing where people are walking. These planes will be coming and going all day long. We're trying, I don't tell anybody this, because we don't know how many we'll get, but we're having a classic boat display over here. And we're working on, we've got, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 Chris Crafts right now, but we're trying to get, there's an International Antique and Classic Boat Association. They normally have an event in Manistee. They're not having it this year, so we're trying to see if they will come and just park their trailers here for the day. So we're trying to have that piece. The Glider Club will be operating over here. They'll be giving rides on the gliders. And then this is where the breakfast will be. And then this is where most of the career booths will be. Now, some are out here with it. This is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. They're bringing a helicopter, and they'll have a canopy there. The canopy will be set up after the helicopter's in place. We have Western Michigan University bringing in an aircraft. One of the fixed-based operators, Cadillac Aircraft Services, and someone else. And then the Civil Air Patrol we're going to have here, because I think you need electricity, don't you, Ray? Yeah, so we're putting them here so that their booth can be near the plane and have electricity for what they want. And then we'll have merchandise sold here, all the classic cars there.
Where
So-
the hams gonna be?
Show them where we are in that. He's got it right there.
So zooming in a little further, this is the different booths. So you got like the U.S. Navy, the Naval Sea Cadets, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, Coletta Air, Northwestern Michigan College, the Career Tech Center, Civil Air Patrol. This is the Wexford County Emergency Operations and 911, Michigan State Police, Michigan Air National Guard. This is the RC Club. And this is the Radio Club, and in between's a blank space that we're going to have so that the RC Club can put some of their bigger models in between the two booths. So if you're working one of these booths, you can be working both of them pretty easily. You can go back and forth for whatever. And then you're right near the porta potty.
And just our initial plan is, we're gonna have antennas on this side of the building. We've got, Bob LHP is bringing up a 28-foot push-up tower that will run a sloper. Brandy's dad is bringing maybe two
You've got 2 crank-ups.
crank-up towers,
Good
so
ones.
we're gonna have plenty of towers and plenty of, room to run them, so.
So, yeah, we put the club here because it gives you access to this grassy area over here. It's got electricity in this hangar, and then all these canopies will be right inside the hangar. So we'll actually be able to set them up and then close that door at night, so you don't have to worry about anything getting wet or stolen or whatever.
That's where we're gonna set up Friday night, and they lock the doors and show up the next morning.
Any questions on the setup for it? Basically, we're having all these booths. We're gonna try to get signage so that there'll be a banner on the front of each one. We'll have the Wexford County Airport logos on it and then the name of the organization. So there'll be one that'll have.
Are you supplying the canopies?
Yes, actually, we got Walmart to donate 5 of them and we paid for the other 15 of them right now. But we do have sponsors also that are helping to defer some of the costs. But since it's the first year, we don't have a lot of sponsors, but we do have a few.
I assume we'll have electricity. Electricity?
Yeah, there'll be electricity where you guys are because you're right inside that booth. You just need to make sure you have an extension cord that can get to the
I'm
electricity.
bringing at least 100 feet.
So each canopy will have a table and 2 chairs. So if you need more, if you need anything, just let us know.
Well, I would think 2 tables, one behind with radio gear on it, the other one up front to talk to people, and then brought them on and give them a talk.
We could probably do that. We have a need for 64 tables in total when you combine the career booths and the breakfast area. And the Cadillac Area Public Schools has been gracious enough to say they'll bring over a trailer that's got the tables.
We know
and
the
chairs.
trailer.
We're familiar with
We know the
that.
trailer.
So they said it holds 100 tables. So,
I will, just to be safe, are these 8-foot tables?
pardon me?
Are these 8-foot tables?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I will bring one so that I like your idea of one in back and one in front.
Well, that way, if you got literature and
Yeah.
one thing or another,
Right.
you can have it there and not.
I'll just throw it in the truck, so if they don't have enough, we'll have ours all set.
I know this is a bunch of this is new, but what was your gate last year?
I wasn't here, so I can't confirm this, but some people said they had up to 3,000 people.
The year I went, it was the year before, it was packed. I mean, it's a ton of people.
Now, they didn't have the career aspect before, and they weren't trying to draw from all the school districts across northern Michigan. In May, there was a career day up in Traverse City at their civic center. It was a one-day event. It was for skilled trades. So they had a plumber, they had an electrician, and all construction. And they were only drawing 9th graders to this event. And they had 3,000 9th graders at it. So I'm a little nervous in how many we could get. Because what I'm really nervous for is the EAA chapter that's got to have enough eggs to feed everyone.
Like with the flying, one thing or another, those guys are really good at logistics.
Well, one of the things we're doing is working out an agreement with Gordon's Food Store so that we don't have to get 3,000 eggs. We can have, 500, and then if need be, they're ready, we can go and bring them down immediately.
And you got Rich and Mark that raise chickens, so.
My son raises.
So the big thing is, what do you do as a follow-on? What do you tell the kids? Because I hate to tell kids, so this is everything about radios and all that, and then just smile. You want to try to give them some follow-on. So I'm wondering if you've been thinking about this. Here we got the career day, but then I'd like to see maybe some sort of school program with Cadillac area schools. I'm working with Jennifer Brown to try to institute some aviation programs in the Cadillac schools, and we could easily at the same time expand that to have some sort of amateur radio club, a sub-club of this club, possibly.
I've been trying for years to get amateur radio into schools in this district as a STEM program, volunteering my time, materials, everything, and I've never had anybody take up on it.
Well, I just made an appointment with the physics teacher to meet with
For
him.
school district.
Cadillac.
Okay. I've been working on Lake City and McBain.
Yeah, and he's given me one day, one class session to come in. And I mean, I'm not gonna be the only one doing it, I'm gonna recruit a lot of these smart people.
I'd be happy to help with that.
Okay, we're on it.
So, that's something that we can look forward to, but the other thing is you can be telling kids how they can become amateur radio operators now. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have some of those books for technician in general and all that, so they could just leaf through them and see what kind of stuff they have to study. Because if they see a technician manual, I don't think they'd get overwhelmed with that type of material. Now, maybe with the extra stuff, they get a little lost.
We've got ARL brochure that kind of explains what amateur radio is, but yeah, we could get some of those.
So we're gonna have an information booth, and we'll have a large screen, and it'll just be scrolling through various slides. So I'm gonna have a slide for every host of a career booth, and a slide for every sponsor that we have. So this is what I put together for the radio club in terms of what their slide would look like. What I'm trying to do is on each slide, you have your logo, you have what aviation careers you affect, and then who are the booth hosts. This one, because of what you gave me, I put in, how does this prepare you for other things, just because I thought it would be good for kids to know that. But if you see anything you'd like changed on this, or any recommendations?
I gave him those names because we were the ones that met out there. If there's anybody else that you don't see your name on there and you signed up to help, we can certainly add it. Would you just meet with him afterwards? If you signed up to help and your name isn't there, get with him and he'll add it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, any questions about what we're trying to do? And the times, the flyer says it starts at 10 for the main portion of it, but the breakfast starts at 8. Well, if the breakfast is at 8, that means people are there at 8, and most people, when they go on fly-ins, they usually get to wherever they want to go between 7:30 and 8 for a fly-in, because they like to get in while the air is smooth and everything's nice, and then eat their breakfast and be on their way so they have the rest of the day to do stuff. So I'm anticipating from the group flying in, they'll probably see most of that traffic between 8 and 10. From the other group from the community, will probably see it from 10 to 1. And
I
then
have a question, or he wants to know about the breakfast, is that free?
No, it's free admission to get in, free parking. The breakfast is put on by the EAA chapter, and it's $10 for adults, $5 for kids, and under something is free.
Okay.
It's on the brochure. Yeah, we go back. And then last year they had food trucks. But there was a little conflict between the EAA. They wouldn't stop serving pancakes, so the food trucks felt slighted. And so this year, it's only going to be the EAA, and at some point in time, they'll switch from pancakes and scrambled eggs to burgers and brats and hot dogs.
I think I also saw ice cream.
Yes, there'll be an ice cream stand and a coffee stand that will be part of that.
Any other questions? Well, thank Keith.
Okay,
You've done
thank
a lot
you.
of work. All right, Gordy, next item of business. Business.
Business. I'm gonna take this to Dan's favorite wife to draw. It is, we collected $40, so it's a $20 pull.
But you do too good at that and you'll get volunteered forever.
No, don't do that.
Where is Van?
He had another engagement, I think, in
Okay, we ready? Here we are. The last 3 digits, 805.
Nope, damn. I missed it by one.
Hey! Oh, we got it.
Okay, you can stay as late as you want, but meeting is now adjourned.
$20. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Hey, Lynn, did you need this back?